Hey everybody, this is Melinda. How's it going? I hope everybody's having a really great day, and I know that I have really been enjoying. We've been getting some really great weather where I'm from, and I've really been enjoying it. And it just really inspired me to do a video. I wanted to talk about records and music that bring back some really wonderful childhood memories, the ones that just really capture the summers growing up for me. And I'll go ahead and get started. This is Paul McCartney's Wingspan album. What's so special about this is it actually contains all of his songs from Wings and his solo career. It's really pretty amazing album. It has Listen to What the Man Said, Band on the Run, My Love, Silly Love Songs, just some really important records, that songs that I remember from when I was really little, as well as Goodnight Tonight, With a Little Luck, and the song Coming Up. And those were when I was a little bit older in my childhood, but I just can't imagine my childhood without Paul McCartney music in it. It was just such a defining musical time for me, and I really love it. So anyway, Paul McCartney really is an important part of my childhood summers. And also, this is the next one I'm going to show. This is a 12-inch. This is Blondie's Heart of Glass. This was one of my very favorite songs that I can remember being a little kid. My mom had it on a compilation album on her 8-track. We had a little red Pinto, and this was always the song I looked forward to when it came on, and I just really have great memories of listening to Heart of Glass when I was a kid. So Heart of Glass by Blondie has some really great memories for me too. The next guy here, he does not get a lot of love in the VC, but I can't imagine my childhood without Eddie Money and the song Baby Hold On. That was such a big hit one summer for when I was a kid. And I do remember my sister and I, my mom worked during the summer that year, and we had to go to a babysitter, and she would make us take naps. But then she'd be quilting and listening to the radio while we were supposed to be taking naps. And every day, Baby Hold On would come on. And that's such an important part, and I really loved that. And anyway, my daughter loves it too. She actually has this record in her collection as well. So anyway, Eddie Money's Baby Hold On was just such an important song from my childhood. The next one I'm going to show is Donna Summer. This is her greatest hits compilation, but the song that really takes me back to my childhood summers is the song Hot Stuff. And when I was a kid, Mom, she didn't really censor us on our music or anything too much, but for some reason she always turned the song Hot Stuff. Something about it bothered her, and she did not want us to hear it. So of course it made us want to hear it all that much more. And there was one summer, I guess the summer Hot Stuff was popular, my dad came, and suddenly he had a boat. And he came a couple times that summer, and we got to see him, and we got to ride in his boat and have just an amazing time. And I remember Hot Stuff being played. He didn't know Mom didn't want us hearing that song, so we would just really, when it was on, we'd lean in and listen, because it was just something we weren't supposed to be listening to. And anyway, I just have really great memories of listening to Hot Stuff, even though Mom didn't want us to. Anyway, it just brings me back to a really wonderful time. One of the few memories I really truly have about my dad and that boat. Just an incredible summer. Okay, so then moving on, I'm getting a little bit older, and 1981, Soft Cell's Tainted Love. That was a huge song. I remember it being played a million times that summer, and just a great song. I think at the time it had broke the record for being in the top 40 for the longest amount of time. I think the record's been broken since then, but anyway, I just remember that dominating the airwaves in 1981, as well as this album here, the hits from this record, Who's Crying Now and Don't Stop Believing. And I have just absolutely wonderful memories of me and the girl around the corner and a couple guys, and occasionally our sisters would come along too. And us just going for really long bike rides and just having a great time together. And just remember these songs. It just brings me back to those wonderful bike rides. One of the guys that we went bike riding with actually became the lead singer for a group called Audio Adrenaline, who had some really great success in the Christian music world. a great guy, and he came from a wonderful family, and they do a really amazing stuff. So anyway, I just have really great memories of that, and that's also the last summer of my childhood. After that, I had to work and babysit, and anyway, to pay for school books and school clothes. So this was just the last summer of waking up and nowhere to go, nothing to do, just fun. So anyway, great memories of that. The next one I'm going to show, this is John Cougar's American Fool. This was from 1982, and I remember this Hurt So Good being on the radio all the time during the summer of 1982, and I just have great memories of it. Jack and Diane even more so, and man, that just made this album explode. I think this album ended up being the best-selling album of 1982. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was. And just an incredible, incredible time. It brings me back to when I was, if you live in the Midwest, you know what 4-H is. And, 4-H fairs, they'd have livestock. I didn't have any livestock, but I would do cookies and muffins, and one year cake, and I won blue ribbons and a reserved grand champion one year for my cake. So anyway, I just have really great memories of Hurt So Good and Jack and Diane from the American Fool album. I also have really great memories of Toto, the song Rosanna, and that was a really, really huge hit that year. It just played over and over and over again. When I was a grown-up and had kids and lived next door to a lady, her name was Rosanna, and she said this song ruined her childhood because I guess she got teased a lot from it. But this Toto album, a couple years after Rosanna came out and was a huge hit, I think it was actually the very next summer, I won a contest at a radio show, and a local radio station would have a deal where if they played 2 songs in a row by the same group or artist and you were their first caller, you won a prize. And one year Rosanna was on, and then all of a sudden I heard the very striking beginning of Hold the Line. I knew immediately what it was. I grabbed the phone, I called it. It was one of those phones that you had to dial like that. But man, I was quick because I knew their phone number by heart. I was their first caller. I won, and they asked me, do you mind if we do an interview with you? And I said, sure. Well, while that was going on, I had a friend who was in a major makeout session with her boyfriend. And she said, things were getting really hot and heavy, and all of a sudden they heard me talking on the radio, and they just could not stop laughing. It totally broke the mood. And so anyway, I've always remembered that and thought that was a very funny story. So anyway, just remember loving Rosanna from Toto from 1982. I'm going to move on now to 1984. You knew I had to bring up Van Halen. What a childhood memory this is. From 1984, the song Jump, when I tried out for cheerleader. Back then you didn't have an iPad, you had to just, or iPod. You just had to listen from your memory, something in your song head to keep you motivated to get through the cheerleader tryouts. I had to do toe touches and a lot of jumps, and for some reason the song Jump just really motivated me to do the very best I could. It was in my head while I was doing my tryouts. Also the song I'll Wait, that was, I had made cheerleader. That was the first year I made it. I tried out 3 times and finally made cheerleader that year. The song I'll Wait brings back wonderful memories of that summer, and also the song Panama. Panama, for the longest time, was my favorite song of all time, and it probably deep down still is, but anyway, just a wonderful sentimental memories of the 1984 album Van Halen. And this one is also something very special that immediately comes to my mind. This is the Outfield, Play Deep. And I just have really wonderful memories of sitting, laying out with my friend from across, around the block, slathered in baby oil. And I remember she had this tape, she borrowed it from her boyfriend. And I just remember us having discussions of from worst to best, rating boyfriends on how they kissed, and just dumb stuff like that we would talk about. And also her boyfriend would give me rides. I had to work at ball games to earn money for the cheerleaders. And he would have this on in his car too. And he had a white Cutlass Supreme with the T-tops. It was just a gorgeous car. So I really remember a lot of wonderful memories with this. Has the song "Say It Isn't So" is an incredible song. "Your Love" was the big hit. "I Don't Need Her," "Every Time You Cry." There was another one on here. "All the Love in the World," "All the Love." This is an incredible album and just brings back wonderful memories from high school summer. Next one I'm going to show, this was really incredible, Peter Gabriel's "So." And this one brings me back to, obviously, I think I've shared this before. I worked in detasseling corn, and one summer Sledgehammer played so much that summer that I remember it from that. But the year after that, I didn't have to detassel corn anymore. I got a job at a place called Holiday World. It is located in Santa Claus, Indiana. That is a true city. Look it up. I promise you it is the truth. And it was a theme park. And anyway, I worked in the games department, you know, where you play a game and maybe you win a stuffed animal. I had that job, and we had music in our department. And some of the songs, "Red Rain," was one of those songs, and it played over and over and over again all summer long, every day, so many times a day. "Sledgehammer," "In Your Eyes" was also a really big one, and "Big Time." Those were playing when I worked at Holiday World, which was an incredible memory. Made so many great friends, and just absolutely loved that time of my life. And I even got a college scholarship from Holiday World. They gave me a little scholarship, so that really helped me out too. So anyway, great memories of Peter Gabriel's album "So." And this one, "Stryper." This one reminds me very much of my senior year. We had a class photographer. She took a ton of pictures our senior year. And the very last day when we were at awards day, we got to see a grouping, just a video of showing all those wonderful pictures she had taken all year. And it was to the song "Honestly" by Stryper. And it was just a beautiful memory. I really wish I had that video. And also I had a boyfriend who had this album. He played it all the time in his car. So I really love Stryper's "To Hell with the Devil." And then finally, here's this record I'm going to show. Well, this isn't finally. There's one more after this. This is Guns N' Roses' "Appetite for Destruction." And I bought this copy last year, and man, this is a wonderful press. It sounds amazing. But I remember back after I graduated high school, this did not come out in the summer of 1988, but it dominated the summer of 1988. I went over to my friend's house, and she had two cars. She had a 1965 candy apple red Mustang, and she also had a 1984 Cougar that had a moonroof when those were brand new. And I remember getting in the Cougar with her. We were getting ready to go cruising around, and she pulled out a cassette tape, and it had this cover on it. And I asked her, I said, "What is that?" And she said, "Oh, Melinda, you've got to hear this. This is crazy good." And sure enough, I heard "Welcome to the Jungle" for the first time in her car while we were cruising around. We probably heard it 10, 15 times that night because we just kept playing it over and over again. And, you know, I know Nirvana changed the musical scene when they came out, but I think that it was already changed when "Appetite for Destruction" came out. I have just absolute wonderful memories of the summer of 1988 where "Welcome to the Jungle" was played everywhere and loved by everybody. This was a big deal. And finally, and I'm going to go back in time a little bit. This is the most sentimental memory I have. This is ZZ Top's "Eliminator." This goes back to 1984. I remember the song "Sharp Dressed Man." I had such great memories of that and loved it. I had saved up enough money, and my mom and I went to Walmart, and I bought the cassette tape of ZZ Top's "Eliminator." And I remember getting in the car with it, and Mom saying, "Well, go ahead and put it in. We'll give it a listen." And I remember thinking, oh no. I just thought for sure, she's going to listen to this, and this cassette's going to go out the window. Because there's songs called "I Got the Six," "Bad Girl," "Dirty Dog." There were just some songs on here that you don't want to hear with your mom. But you know what? I played it. She never said anything. She just listened to it. And this Eliminator cassette stayed in my car for almost a year maybe. I don't know. It was in forever. And we never listened to anything else, her and I, when we were together. We went on a lot of shopping trips and just the everyday things we did together. And this song was always in the background. And man, just to remember all the wonderful conversations I had with my mom and things we discussed while this album was on. And a few years before she died, I asked her, I said, why did you keep listening to ZZ Top? Weren't you tired of that? And, why'd you keep letting me listen to it? And she honestly looked at me, she goes, I loved it. I thought it was a great record. I loved listening to it. So anyway, those are my wonderful memories that I wanted to share with you all. And I really appreciate you watching. Please comment. Please let me know what your favorite childhood and teenage year, anytime, what your summer memories are with music. I'd really love to hear it. Feel free to make a video or just leave it below in the comments. And everybody have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.